In this lesson, we'll learn how we can use image trace inside of Illustrator to simplify an image down to a limited number of colors for spot color printing. Okay, so this is the Lesson 6 Begin file. If you want to go ahead and open that up for me. This is actually one of the assets that were created for us by one of our creative dev authors. And we're going to go ahead and use this just to kind of give you this example. So now when it comes to printing is very expensive for full color images. On a printing press, you have to print with process color, which is cyan, magenta, yellow, and black, if you want to get a wide range of color at the most economical price. Now, with this particular image, obviously there's more than just 4 colors. So those process colors are mixed together in different amounts to basically create as many colors that are possible within that gamut for this particular image. Now, where that presents a problem is where you have a client who can't afford a full color, process color print. Maybe they can only afford to pay a printer for 1 color, 2 colors, or even 3 colors. So converting images to spot color is actually a pretty common practice. So let me come over here and show you how you could do that with the image trace dialog here inside of Illustrator. But before we do, I want to kind of show you what I've got going here. If we jump over to the swatches panel, you can see that I've gotten rid of all the swatches we're not using, and I've gone ahead and chosen 2 of the colors that I need in this yellow and kind of this teal green color here. These are going to be my Pantone spot colors. So if we came over and looked at my color panel, you can see that it's Pantone 100C, and it's Pantone, actually, let's look over here. I think that swatch may be wrong. Nope, it is Pantone 3155C. So these were gotten off the Pantone Solid Coated color library. And if you're not familiar with where those color libraries are, they're right here under the swatch libraries, color books, and down under here. They're off the recording area, but those are the Pantone color libraries. So what I've done here is I've created a color swatch here for each one of those spot colors, and I've also got a number of different swatches for tints of those colors. So tints will be screened on at less than full intensity, and some of the paper color would actually show through. So you can come over here and see with the kind of this teal green, I have, I believe, 10% through 100%, and then with the yellow I have a 100% and a 50% tint. So with that said, let's go ahead and come over here and grab our image. Alright, great. Now over here inside the image trace dialog, because this is a fairly high resolution image, I don't want to actually check my preview box as of yet, just because it'll be processing constantly as I make changes here. So I'm going to go ahead and set this over to high color as the preset to start with. Again, that second button right there. Then we're going to come over here and we're going to make sure our color mode is set to color. And if we drop down the palette drop down here, you'll see some options. And the default for this preset is full tone. Now limited and automatic may be options for other presets here, but that's not what we're going for. I want to come over here and tell Illustrator to use the Documents color library to actually apply color to this. Now, as far as Illustrator is concerned, the document library consists of these colors right here. So if I were to come in and select that, just like so, you'll notice here that we now get a second drop down for colors. Now again, I've gotten rid of all the colors I'm not planning on using, but say if you had other color swatches saved in your swatches panel that you didn't want to use, you would just need to group all of your targeted colors into a swatch group right here. So we'll just drop this down, and instead of saying all, I'm going to select this color group right here. And you can see again I have all my color swatches right there. So now that Illustrator knows exactly what colors I want to use, these are the only colors that it's going to use when applying this image trace to our image. So let me go ahead and hit the preview button here. And once Illustrator finishes going through processing that, you can kind of see what our result is here. So now again, we haven't expanded this yet. We still can come in and make changes to this as needed, but it's actually applying the colors to this that were available to it in a pretty logical manner. You can see here the lighter colors, being these very low tints of this teal, have been applied in the highlight areas. Whereas those yellow colors have been applied kind of sporadically here in a few different areas where maybe they were closer to the colors that were originally in that area. And again, the black areas here were actually created based on the values and the dark values in the background. Now, we could come in and we could adjust, again, the same exact settings over here if we wanted to, trying to maybe control how these this image tracing is happening. Maybe we want more accurate tracing, we want more or less noise, we want more corners or less corners, but overall I'm pretty happy with this result. So let's go ahead and collapse that down here. Now, if you're thinking that that black might be more of a gray than a black, that is actually 100K black. It's not a rich black where all of the process colors are mixed together. So basically what I'm trying to achieve here is a print that the client is only going to pay for 3 colors. They're going to pay for black, they're going to pay for this 3155, and they're going to pay for 100. So 3 different colors. Now, at this point, we need to go ahead and expand this. So we'll come over here with our image selected, hit the expand button. And now what we've done is we've created the vector shapes. Now, here's where the process breaks down just a little bit, because even though we told Image Trace that we only wanted it to have access to these spot colors right here, in the process of converting this into vectors, these colors have been converted back into their process equivalents. So, for example, this one should be that Pantone. Let me just ungroup this. Control-Shift-G. This little eye of this guy right here should be that Pantone 100C. If we come over to the color panel and look at it, you can now see that it is the process equivalent to this. So, being that we only had, 10, 11, 12, plus the process black, 13 different options, we would need to come in and reapply our spot color equivalents to these. So again, I showed you kind of how I would go about doing that in the last lesson. We just need to come up to select same fill color, and now I've got all of this yellow fill selected, so I could come in here and I could just simply click on that color swatch, come in and select maybe this one here, and you can see it's that lighter yellow color. So we'll do the same thing, select same fill color, apply this one here, and so on and so forth. So again, we'll go ahead and select our black, select same fill color, apply our process, or rather, yes, our process black, and we would just repeat that process for all the Pantone 3155 colors. Now, if you want to come in here and check to make sure that you've gotten rid of all the process equivalents, you would just need to come over to the window drop down and look at your separations preview. And you will want to make sure that you have the overprint preview turned on. And if I just expand this down just a bit, you can see my spot colors there. So at this point, we could come in and we could tell Illustrator, I want to hide all the process colors. So we'll just click on that eyeball right there, and you can now see all of the spot color yellows that I went ahead and converted. Now, if we wanted to see the process blacks, you could add that in as well. And again, like I said before, we would just need to go through the process of selecting each one of these 10 colors right here and converting those as well. So now I know that's an extra step, and you would think that maybe the Image Trace would maintain the book colors as it processed that raster image, but unfortunately it doesn't. It does convert them to the process equivalents, but it's quick and easy with just this limited number of colors to go ahead and just switch those back to their process, or excuse me, rather their book color equivalents. So in this lesson, we've learned how to simplify our raster image down to vectors for spot color printing. Now at this point, let's go ahead and wrap this course up by doing one more lesson where we'll learn how to save presets for our custom image trace results.